Shall we begin?
People keep all sorts of pets. Dogs, cats, geckos, donkeys, snakes, owls, rabbits, birds. Keeping fish as a pet is a different ballgame altogether. खाना तो सबको खिलाना पड़ता है, but for fishes, you have got to take extra care on how much to feed. It is because they don't know when to stop eating, which sometimes results in them dying due to overeating. अब ये देखो, इतना खा लिया है कि और खाना अंदर भी नहीं जा रहा. पर हम ह्यूमंस के साथ ऐसा नहीं है. We can consciously stop eating before we explode. जैसे ही आप फूड आइटम को स्टमक में डालते हैं, a signal is sent to brain telling if you can have more or not. जब स्टमक फुल हो जाता है, the brain asks us to stop. वो अलग बात है, sometimes we just ignore and overeat ourselves till we drop. I can represent this in a very simple graphical way, which is called GFC, a generic flow chart. Like this. Our brain keeps checking if some more is to be eaten or not. जब तक पेट नहीं भरा, it keeps telling us to eat. और जब sufficient हो गया, it asks us to stop and come out of the eating loop. We can say that our eating loop is limited. But fishes के यहाँ कभी no नहीं होती and have nothing to stop them. You see how these loops are an important way to control actions? Programming में भी इनकी उतनी ही importance है. चलो आओ आज के इस वीडियो में loops of C के बारे में जानें. But first you need to give a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done and don't forget the bell. Let's take another GFC. Your mobile keeps on searching for a Wi-Fi signal. This is a continuous endless loop with no stopping. Even if you get connected, it still keeps searching. Now there is actually another loop in play, which is this. The moment you come in range of the signal, your device is checked if it is to be given authorization to connect or not. The password जो आपने पहले ही पेयर किया हुआ था allows your device to get connected to this Wi-Fi signal. जब connect हो गया, it does not ask for it again and again. So you see how this authorization loop closes, whereas searching for signal loop keeps running indefinitely. Therefore, we can say that the loops are used to repeat multiple number of times, a set of statements or block of codes or even some actions. Yay, this is also a loop. A standard GFC in programming would look like this. This is important, so please take a moment's time to understand. सबसे पहले तो initialization की जाती है, giving an initial value to the variable. Then we check for the condition. If the condition is true, statements are executed. If not, the program is terminated. However, जब condition true है, we want to test the condition for the next variable value. We may increment or decrement the variable as required. And then the checking of the condition again starts. This goes on till the condition results false and loop stops. चलो आगे देखते हैं what the syntax would look like. Here it is, where for is the keyword. The initialization, the condition, the increment or decrement are written here in the argument. Initialization किसका? Loop start होने का. Meaning the starting or initial value of say a counter. Increment या decrement किसका? इसी counter का. As long as the condition is true, statements to execute यहाँ पर लिखेंगे in the body of loop. To understand better, let's write a simple program to print numbers from 1 to 10. पर पहले इसका GFC हो जाए. यहाँ initialize करते हैं यानी पहला नंबर लेते हैं I is equal to 1, where I is the variable number to be printed. फिर चेक करते हैं कि ये नंबर 10 से बड़ा तो नहीं यानी which is the condition by definition. Printing the value of I is the statement to be executed. I is incremented to get the next value. Note that I here would have been decremented if the program required us to print numbers from 10 to 1, but it is not the case here. So this loop will go on as long as the condition is true, meaning till such time all numbers from 1 to 10 are printed. Okay, so in the first run of loop, I is 1, which is of course is less than 10, is printed before getting incremented to 2. Now the loop control goes again to check the condition And yes, it finds that 2 is less than 10, meaning true. So it prints the value of I, which is now 2, before incrementing it to 3. This goes on till 10 is printed and I becomes 11. Now this time the condition checking returns false, which then terminates the loop. Now let's convert this GFC into C program code. First we'll write the usual stuff, call for header file, main function, etc.
Shall we begin?
And then we write the for loop. The variable I is initialized here to 1. The condition I less than equal to 10 is given. It is told that I is to be incremented to get the next value and the statement to be executed written here in the body. The loop will execute as we discussed when we run this program. Let's see the output. Bingo! You should try this program with printing 10 to 1 using decrement in the argument of for loop. There's another type of loop in C programming called the while loop, and its syntax is like this. This loop works almost similar to the for loop, but the initialization is done before the loop is written and the increment or decrement is done here in the body, meaning while के argument में सिर्फ condition आएगी. So our program code to print numbers from 1 to 10 becomes this. Note where I is equal to 1 and I++ are written as compared to those in for loop. Output इसका वैसा ही आएगा as expected. Did you notice that the decision to enter the loop or not to enter, which is condition checking, is done before the program control enters the loop? We can therefore say that in both for and while loops, control can enter the loop only if the condition is true. Such loops are therefore called entry control loops. From our experience, we know that अगर entry है तो exit भी होगा ही. In C, the exit control loop is a do-while loop. In this type of loop, the condition is checked after the loop body. It is important to understand the difference between while and do-while. The control in while says, as long as the condition is true, keep executing the statements. Whereas the control in do-while says, keep executing the statements as long as the condition is true.
अरे कहना क्या चाहते हो?
Confuse हो गए ना? Let me explain. While loop के example में संता should check if बंता is lying or not. अगर बंता ने झूठ बोला तो उसे थप्पड़ मारना. In do while example, थप्पड़ मारना बंता को and then check if he is lying. मतलब डू वाइल में एक बार तो बंता को थप्पड़ पड़ेगा ही, इससे पहले कि चेक हो कि बेचारे ने झूठ बोला था भी कि नहीं. यानी कि कंडीशन फॉल्स भी हो तो भी एक बार तो लूप चल ही गया, एक थप्पड़ तो पड़ ही गया ना. इन अदर वर्ड्स, द लूप रन्स एट लीस्ट वन टाइम बिफोर द कंडीशन इज चेक्ड. नाउ रीड दोज स्टेटमेंट्स अगेन. Clear? This type of exit control loop is used when we want some statements to be executed at least once before the control checks the condition. ठीक है? Do while clear है? Its syntax is like this. Just like in while loop, initialization is done prior to the loop. Then we write do. And in the body, statements, increment or decrement, and lastly check for condition using while outside the body. चलो हमारे एग्जाम्पल में देखते हैं do while से कैसे लिखा जाएगा. For more clarity, I will put both codes of our example in the same screen. See the difference? आप इसको ध्यान से देखो, मैं पानी पी के आती हूं. Let's run this do while program too. Same output you see. Now let's write both these codes for numbers to be printed from 1 to n, where n is the input by user. मतलब ऐसा लिखे जाएंगे दोनों codes using scanf function. It is best time to remind you to see the previous videos to know how this scanf function works. Notice location of initialization and condition check in both. Now see the results when we input n as 10. Same, है ना? What if the input was 5? Again similar results. And what if the input was 0? Now that's different outputs. अगर आपकी समझ में आया हो तो pause the video and write your answer in the comments below. Go on, चलो करो. For the rest of you, Please listen to the explanation. I is 1 initially and n is 0. The condition of I less than equal to n in this case is therefore false. In while loop program, condition is checked before entering loop body and therefore the control will not execute any statement and terminate the loop. Hence no output. Whereas in do while program, the control will go in loop body, execute the statement, then check the condition which was false and now terminate the loop. पर अब पछताए होत क्या जब चिड़िया चुग गई खेत? एक बार तो प्रिंट हो ही गया ना. Got it? Why do while printed 1 in output? ध्यान रखना कि sometimes you need the loop to operate at least once before it terminates. As we do further complex programming, we'll come across such coding where we will need this do while as exit control loops. एक केस और लेते हैं. What happens to the loop if there is no condition or if the condition is always true? It's like a free fall. मतलब कोई रोक टोक नहीं. Nothing to keep a check. Totally obstacle free. The control goes pagal and keeps executing the statements continuously till the time we explicitly stop it. Such loops are called the infinite loops and are dangerous as they consume huge system resources. That's why our mobile battery drains faster if Wi-Fi searching option or Bluetooth is always kept on. So we have learned today the loops. The for loops and the while loops are entry control loops, whereas the do while loops are exit control loops. And then we also have that khatarnak wali infinite loops. Yes, like that one. बाकी सब languages में भी ऐसी ही loops होती हैं, but only the syntax varies a bit. ठीक है? सब समझ आ गया ना? I hope you have understood this topic well. चलो, see you in the next video. Keep taming your machine. Bye bye.